Welcome in, everybody. My name is Josh. This is the Gaming Joy channel, and we are back on Out of Ore. And we started a little project after the stream last time, and we've gone a little bit off the rails, sort of. So this is our thing from last time. We haven't added anything. This is all pretty much still the same base. I did paint this one in front for funsies because it's a separate line, just to remind myself that it's a separate line. But yeah, this is pretty much our project. I think we made this bin bigger, like a double size, because we want to get a bigger loader, and the bigger loader has a bigger bucket, and it's harder to get into one bucket, so having two side by side is actually easier. And then we've kind of continued this our little dig into the mountainside. Whenever we need gravel, we kind of just dig further in. We blow up some bombs, dig further in, keep going and going and going. Yeah, that's what's going on over here. Nothing special. We've started using this dump grate here, where each time we blow up some bombs, we move the dump grate a little bit further in. And we might do that again after today. Today we got other tasks on us. Now, the other thing we talked about last time, and this is where things got out of hand, is we talked about getting rid of the mountain or the little hill that was right here. And, well, I got rid of it. So that's something. And I originally had stopped about right here. Right about here. Like, I had gotten from there to about here, and I was like, oh, that's enough. And then as I was like clearing like the wall on this side, I found this seam of ore. And the whole idea of this game is to find ore, right? So I ended up finding this seam. Let's see if I can get up there. No, I can't get up that way. Let me see if I can get up this way. The whole idea of this game is to find ore, right? So we ended up finding this seam of iron, silicone, lithium, blah, 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 blah. And I couldn't leave well enough alone. So I dug the whole thing out. And so I basically extended our little wall over here behind the factory. And I just went in a straight line, dug it all out. I ended up having to go at 3 levels. So this is the 3rd level. The 2nd level is right there. That level was all flat all the way across. And then there's another level that was up top where I got the top of the hill. So I had to work my way down. And I'm still using the same stupid loader. I mean, look at this thing. It's like destroyed. This thing's got... If I turn the HUD back on, it has 11 hours on it. Which... I feel like I've been digging for more than 11 hours, but it says it has 11 hours on it, so I'm gonna take it at its word. I guess the game knows better than I do. And then I've been putting dump grates in the ground. And the dump grates in the ground is actually pretty nice because you can just do this. Right? And just back up a little bit. Dump it in the ground. Come on. And then keep going, you know what I mean? Like, you just, you know, it's much faster. So even this, like, big... what seems like a large pile of stuff, I'll be able to clear it in like 10 minutes or something. It goes pretty fast. Now, it would go faster with another machine. And I've been testing on my other save, and the next loader, we really like the loaders. I just my brain likes the loaders. I've tried some of the other machines like excavators and stuff like that, and they have their place. Don't get me wrong. I have been busy. Yes, I have been busy. Welcome in, Bruce. But we really want the biggest loader. The second biggest loader is a good loader, but it's slow. Hey, Waylon. And the slowness of the second biggest loader is a little bit annoying. Especially on rough terrain of any kind, and this is all rough terrain. And I can clear out so much stuff with the biggest loader so fast. Not even funny. So what we're talking about is this one right here. So if we go in the vehicles, a lot of what I've seen so far is a lot of like these all use the same model. This is the DX20E, DX40E, DX60E. They all pretty much use the same model, but just scaled up. Each one has, this one has 23, 30, 36 as the amount. That's how much dirt they have or can carry. And then you get up to this thing, which is $2.5 million. And this can carry 100. So this can carry 36. This can carry 100. I don't know if we have enough money to get to this big one. But in the meantime, we have to get it to work. We're gonna get out of this vehicle for now. So my idea here is that I want to move away from my base a little bit. I really wish there was auto drive or something. So I put down some dirt like this, and I kind of made a road. This is going to be my road, and it's a very bumpy road. But this is going to be my road to go down here, doobie-doobie-doo, all the way down here to this thing. Now this is the coal pit that we were digging, and now it's actually starting to become a pit where we're going to have to start going down, which is totally fine. And we've got it set up for the trucks. So the idea here is we can dig this out and dig it down and dig more coal. Storage has a bunch of coal that needs to get moved. And the truck can pull up like this, ba-doop, right here. And then what I'll do is I'll jump out and I'll turn on here, turn pass-through on. Right? And the pass-through is going to start pulling from the top or bottom or whatever. It'll turn on these things and start filling up the truck. And then once the truck is full, I'll turn pass-through off, get back in my truck, and drive so we can transport the coal. All right, that seems logical. I don't know if it's going to work, but let's try it out. So the first thing we got to do is smooth out that road, which is what we're going to do today. Paving. We're not going to actually do the paving because the paver hasn't been updated yet. I've heard rumors that there is an update to the paver coming, but it's not here yet. So we're not going to do paving in the paver yet until that actually makes it into the game, because there's big changes to the paving system. But for now, we're just going to smooth out our dirt road with the vibro. Right? Not a very expensive machine. We can paint it if we want. Paint it. We're going to G to start the vibro. And it's kind of a slow machine, which is fine. But it should take our dirt road. And we didn't even really need a dirt road. But I kind of wanted to have a path to follow. And my hope is that later when the game actually updates and adds in the paving thing, we can just pave this over. You know, we could also put down gravel or something like that, but at least we'll have a path to follow. Now, I have no idea if this is the right width for a road or anything like that. I have no idea. This is just an idea. But I figured we'd start it. We get to try out a few new machines. And when we get up to the base, we can actually look and see if we have enough money. Like right now we have 1.4. We need 2.5 or something like that to buy the big dump truck. I don't know if we're going to have enough money for it, but I hope we are. It would be cool to use the big dump truck. I've used the other one. I used the other one in my other playthrough, and it was fun. And it moves material. Kind of want to use the really big one though. Now we could have used the dozer, and I think we're going to try to use the dozer at some point. But not today. It works pretty dang well for smoothing out like what was effectively just piles of dirt. This is pretty cool. This works well. I wonder if it can smooth out like places that I haven't put down piles of dirt. Like, would it smooth out the regular tundra? I imagine it would. Welcome in, Waylon. Thanks for being here. Thanks for coming along. Now, the main way that we make money in this game, and I think we could actually make enough money to buy the big thing. The way we make money is from selling stuff. And so we come in here, we can sell some rubies, I guess. So we have lots of rubies being processed. I think we already sold rubies and diamonds, right? And as you can see, we have these like set up for hundreds of hours of processing. Now, if I wanted to make it faster, obviously I can put down more of these, and maybe that's what we'll do in our free space. But I want to do it in free space, not used space. So here we have more gold and silicone, which we can use over here. If we jump into this container was, that container right there was gravel. And as you can see, we have lots of gold and silicone and iron and all that kind of stuff. And so if we really wanted to make some money, we could just sell all of our bars, which are over here. Like we have iron, silver, aluminum, lithium, aluminum, silicone. So silver. We'll keep the steel because we'll keep the iron and the steel. Because we're making steel to make steel floors and stuff like that. We use a lot of steel for stuff. Towboat Fish, welcome in. Thanks for being here. But I mean, even with, let's see how much we make selling just the stuff we've already processed. So silver, aluminum, lithium, silicon, and diamonds. So 17 grand for the rubies, 16 grand for the diamonds, 156 grand for the silver. That's pretty good money. 146 grand for the gold. Sweet. 242 grand for all the aluminum. That's good money. 55 grand for the silicone. Good money. We're over 2 million. Lithium, 536. So the lithium is actually the best one. So we should make sure we're processing the lithium. Like, lithium is good money. We just made it up to 2.6. So that does mean, I think, that we have enough money to buy this one. Now, there's also this one, which is the next one up, right? This one is 100. This one is 140. But I wouldn't mind just going with this one. We have just barely enough. 2.5, 2.6. Look at that. Just barely enough. Let's get it. Why not? I've never used it. Let's get back in the Vibro and finish our road then. I can't believe we spent $2.6 million on a truck. And it's the diamonds and rubies really that make the most money. Now, it doesn't seem like it, but it does. Because the diamonds and ruby, they process very slowly, but you get like 1,000 of those. I only had 80, 90 of them. But like you get 1,000 of them and you're making a lot of money. On my other playthrough, I was like, oh, I'm gonna sell my diamonds and rubies. And I went from like having $1 million to like $9 million just from selling diamonds and rubies. And that's of course all from the pay dirt part. Now we went through a lot of pay dirt when I extracted that mountain. I went through a lot of pay dirt extracting that mountain. So we have a lot to process. And it may be worthwhile to spend some of the money we have left to buy a few more wash plants. Now there's two things that I feel like this game is missing. Now, don't get me wrong, I really like this game, but from a production standpoint, I feel, and I know that the North Modding Company is probably focusing on equipment. But from a production standpoint, I feel like there's two things that's missing from like you can make into production lines. Number one, I feel like it's missing concrete. Like the life cycle for concrete, taking gravel, turning it into concrete, and then creating blocks of concrete or whatever through an automated process would be a huge benefit to the game. If you're playing the way I'm playing, where you don't want to buy stuff from the store, you want everything that you're using to be something that you produced with something that you got out of the ground, right? You really need to do that properly. You really need to be able to automate the whole production line from gravel to concrete blocks. You just have to. I understand the little hand tools, but like for almost everything, we have a hand tool type of way of doing stuff, and we also have the automated way of doing stuff. And so just like the smelters we have, right? We have actual smelters that can be turned into production lines, which is what we're going to do today. We're going to create a production line for the smelters. That's the third thing we're on our list today. The second thing is going to be transporting some coal to keep our factory going. And the third thing we're going to do is we're going to upgrade our factory. We just spent all of our money, so I don't know if I'm going to have any money to be able to upgrade our factory, so I guess we'll see. This thing is essentially just a smooth tool. That's all it really does. It smooths, just like a smooth tool in FS or any other game. We're smoothing the surface. They're adding a couple more tools. They announced the one cool thing about this game is there's constant updates. Every Friday there's a news article that they publish with what they've been working on that week, which is super cool. This week they made some conveyor belts, tracked conveyor belt machinery that you can put anywhere, and it will take in a dump load and move that dump load elsewhere. And it'll also output nice piles. And so either single belts or even a sorter that's tracked that you can just park somewhere and sort into multiple smaller piles. And then of course you need something, you have to scoop the piles and take them somewhere. So more processes to do, which is, you know, just enhancing the game. Now the question here is my road, quote unquote, that I've made wide enough for the ridiculously huge dump truck that we just bought? I actually don't know how big it is. Oh, it's okay. It's okay. Towboat. This game is essentially Terraform. It's essentially a Terraform game with equipment. And all the cool with machinery that we get to play with Terraform, there's even more of it in this game, and you get to dig dirt and dig for ores and do massive earth moving projects like this. There was a massive hill there. You should, and when you see the second stream, you'll be like, oh my god, that's a big hill. Yeah, I took it all out, and it took me hours, like days. I was level 25 last time, and now I'm level 39. And so I moved up significantly in the leveling system, just removing that hill. And all I was doing was scooping dirt and transporting it. That's it. Just over and over and over. I'll show you I can actually show you the factory stuff. The factory stuff is actually, they did a really good job with it, I think. And they've redone the factory systems supposedly over time a couple times. So like the screenshots, the older screenshots you see of this game, the belts and stuff look completely different than they look now. Now they look like real belts. So they're continuously upgrading. But I'll show you the basic kind of thing, and then I'll show you the more advanced thing. Towboat, if you're interested. It's actually a lot of fun to play. If you like playing in Terraform and FS, you'll really like this game. Because it's a sandbox. We're gonna get out this whole, like, in front of us, this whole big open area. I would like to, over time, build out a massive pit in this area. Just for the sake of doing so. But we got to build our way up to that first, so. Yeah, this game it's really good. And then I think I actually found another game to try that kind of fits within my quote unquote qualifications of games that I like to play. Let's park this thing here. Get out. That we're gonna try sometime soon. I haven't actually bought it yet, but I think I'm gonna get it. It's a game called Motor Town, which is like a driving simulation game, but it's driving to the degree of in complexity and quests and all kind of stuff that I really like. Let's do that and that and that. All right, so here we got a big dump truck. Now let's see if my whole idea works. Getting out. How? Where? Oh, what the heck? That's so awesome. You have to walk down the stairs. All right. So I'm gonna do turn pass through on. There we go. It's dumping into our truck. I'm like stuck on the truck. Actually, we might center the truck a little bit. Note to self, don't move the truck while it's doing its thing. Because it'll put ridiculous amounts of stuff on the ground. Alright, this is not working out as good as I thought. Turn pass through off. Okay, stop dumping. Get off. I know. I'm the same way. There's so many I want to play. This game, so one of the reasons I like this game is in line of how I like to play Farm Sim, where it's kind of an open sandbox. That's why I like wilderness maps, right? I like the open, do whatever you want kind of gameplay. This game, like there's quests, and I started doing some of the quests, and we should actually work on some of the quests here. But for the most part, I like the open nature of just find a hole and start digging. Find a place to dig and start digging. Nature of this game, right? And I really liked Surrounded, also because of the just open nature survival situation it kind of puts you into, right? I really enjoyed that game. That was fun. And I'm just waiting for the next update to get public. And we might go back to that. So let's flatten this out again. Let's put some dirt down. Flatten the dirt. We made a mess of ourselves. Note to self, always turn off the thing before attempting to move the vehicle. All right. So that's centered. Turn the pass-through on. That should fill up my vehicle. All right, we'll let that fill. So let's talk about the factories. So this is a basic factory. All I have here is an input, these two inputs, and these two inputs directly go into a silo, essentially. And then I have an elevator connected to another elevator, connected to a long belt, connected to a chute, right? And then these two things are connected under the ground, right? You can see an output from here connects into the input of there. So if I dump in here with a loader, it all flows into the storage, right? That's your simple factory. The simplest form of factory is take a input, a hopper. This is a hopper. Flow it into a storage. Then use that later for something. Now, how close is this to being full? It's not close to being full at all. Okay. What speed is my hopper? This thing right here. So 1x. Let's go twice as fast. And so you can control how fast the belts are moving and how fast they move material. Like that one right there is moving slowly-ish. It'll take a little while to fill up that rock truck. But if we want to make it go faster, we go into factory, convey, power, and we do a 2x speed power thing. Right? And then we get rid of the 1x speed power thing, which is going to turn everything off. We put in a 2x power speed thing. And we run a power cable from there to there. And now this is going to fill up a little bit faster. Or not at all. I would bet money that this thing is no longer enough. 800 kilowatts. We come in here. I have to turn on 1400 max. Oh, I forgot to turn it on. Alright, so now it's going to fill up faster because we gave it more power. It looks like it's starting to spill. Is this spilling or is it just an animation? Alright, we're pretty much full. So then let's go turn this off. Turn off. Alright. Let's see how good our road is. Oh, this thing's pretty fast. I'm so used to the loaders. The loaders are all, you know, 15, 20 miles an hour. This thing is not super fast, but it's pretty fast. And this is the other reason why I made the dump deck, or the dump area over here wider. It's because I wanted to eventually get this dump truck, and this dump truck is very wide. And so we would need this. Oh, that's cool. It dumps really fast. And so what's going to happen here, and so this is the other factory, right? And let's see if we can get a good view of the factory. It's kind of hard to because it's so big. So the other factory here, consume. The other factory is running. Doesn't look like it's running. Why is it not like it's running? It's not running. Hold on. The other factory is not running. We have to turn it on. Oh, it's not running because we're out of coal. So the other factory was actually out of coal. So let's grab some coal. Return. Let's grab some coal into our inventory so we can turn the factory on. Consume. Let's So we're grabbing some coal out of the hopper that we just transported here. And we're going to put it up here. And we're going to do this. Right? And do that. Turn it on. It's on. Everything is on. And then I can turn this. This needs to be turned on. This turns the factory on. And now you can see stuff moving. Okay, the belts are moving. The belts take it in from the hopper. And then the belts come up here. This is a coal screener. So coal goes one way, pay dirt goes the other way. Right now the coal screener is dropping the coal down the bottom, which is then coming up this lift right here. And then this lift and this network of conveyor belts takes it up to this storage, which goes into the coal thing. The storage isn't really needed because the coal thing has a lot of space. But it's there just in case we go overboard with coal, right? And then the way I've set up my factory is we have this trommel here outputs gravel going that way and outputs pay dirt going this way. The pay dirt goes into this thing, right? So we get our gold and diamond and ruby here. And then the output of this goes we're selling the dirt. So it filters out the ores, sells the dirt, and it uses water to do so, right? And it should be using water. Yeah, it doesn't show the water animation right now. I'm not sure why. Water pump, pipeline speed. Why is my water pump? Oh, why is my water pump red? Uh-oh. You know what? I bet it was because I put something underneath the water pump because I'm an idiot. Now the water pump's working. So I actually put a floor tile underneath the water pump and it stopped the water pump. So like you need the water pump to be on ground or dirt, a certain kind of dirt. You need to be on frozen dirt or regular dirt, grass, I guess. And see, now you see the water. Okay. And then down here comes out of the trommel. This was my idea to keep the trommel stuff relatively compact. Is we go up in a lift. We have a sorter here. And then we have the crusher. We have a jaw crusher, and then we have some other kind of crusher, a cone crusher, and then that outputs gravel, and then we're storing the gravel. Well, we're storing half of the gravel. So right here is a splitter. I don't know if you can see it. It splits one way to go for storing for gravel. The second way goes into this, what's called a froth floater. And the froth floater either takes in dirt and sells it, or takes our ores, merges with another set of ores we got earlier, and puts them into this. So we have all these ores to turn into bars. And that's what this whole area here is to set up eventually, to set up the processing to turn the ores into bars automatically. But we need coal to run our factory, and we didn't find our coal near our factory. So we're going to go transport more coal to our factory. The legit way, instead of just putting it in our inventory. Wow, we've used up almost a quarter tank of fuel, maybe more, just from that little road trip. Is that where I need to be? That looks right. So if it's coming off the top, which I think it is, we took like 8,000 things of coal. In one load. That's pretty cool. We won't have to do too many loads. Yeah, see? And the reason we put the 2x thing on here, right? This little 2x power, it basically turns all the belts to go faster. So before the belts were going 30 meters per second, now they're going 60 meters per second. And you can get that all the way up to 10x, but in reality, we want this thing right here to be controllable because we're filling up a vehicle with that product, and we want to be able to get out and turn it off quickly. The one thing I think I'm really hoping they actually do is add the correct textures to the belts. All of the belts look like this, but in this situation, like we're moving coal on the belt. I want to see coal. I don't want to see pay dirt. I would love to see it actually show the right product. I think the animation is when you start spilling. I think we're spilling. Turn paster off. I think we're starting to spill. See that? See it's kind of spilling out of over the edges? It's not actually spilling on the ground. It's getting there though. Actually, I want to see quick how much we're transporting. How much should we transport? So this was a stack of 10,000. And so it's down to like, so 65 plus 2 is 85. So we're essentially taking 85,000 bits of coal in one trip. That's pretty awesome. Was this vehicle worth $2.5 million and taking all of our money? I don't know. Maybe. It's certainly fun and cool. And one trip with this is the equivalent of 3 trips with the other one. The other dump truck, so I think it's worth it. The dirt physics looks so good. All right, so my whole idea of doing the pass through on and off is totally working. So that's awesome. I turn the pass-through on. It starts filling up with coal. And then we can move it around. That's pretty awesome. I'm happy about that. I'm not happy about the fact that we don't have any more money, so we can't actually build the next factory. We could. Do I have anything else to sell? Man, what happens if I just sell the gold ore directly? 99 grand, that's good. Silicon, I could sell these. These are immaterial to some degree. This will give me, I'm going to sell these. This is going to give me the ability to build, essentially. So now we have 339. We have enough money to build our next factory. So that's good. All right. Let's check how full we are. And we can actually like target where it's gonna drop in the trailer a little bit. Maybe to unload more. Kind of, sort of. As long as we don't miss. We don't want to get to a point where it's dropping on the ground, because that'll cause problems. What would be smart? Actually, what would be smart is we could leave this running indefinitely if we had it dumping into a dump crate system, and that dump crate system was just flowing back into the storage, like it's just looping, so we could just leave it running. That would be a way to leave it running. So you park over a spot and the chute is just constantly dumping and looping back on itself. And so you could just leave it running forever and just pull up to it, fill up with as much as you want. We could set up a loop. That would be kind of cool. I'll set that up for next time. This should give us more than enough to run our factory for a while. All right. And you can watch like what we're doing. See the belts fill up right there and just take the coal up to the other thing. That's what we're doing. That's what we're causing with the factory working properly. And if we look over at our coal plant, the coal is getting delivered here and getting delivered here. See, we're building up coal. The coal plant doesn't need it, so it's just sitting in storage, right? This is the stuff we put into storage earlier. You can put more in here, but because it doesn't need it, the storage is keeping it for now, which is just tons of space. We could offload all of this stuff. Actually, we should probably turn the pass-through on. That would be smart. And so basically all of that stuff is going to flow into here. This will fill up, and I mean, this is what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this would be 20 stacks of 10,000. So 200,000. Yeah, 200,000 coal. If we had 200,000 coal, this would fill up. And then it would go into here. And then this would give me another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. another 40 stacks of 10,000, another 400,000. So that right there for that one coal plant could hold 600,000 coal. We don't have that much coal right now. And I think our road could be a little bit wider. But for now, the road is working well. And we could obviously dig some more coal, but I don't really want to do that right now. I want to build the next set of things. So I'm going to leave this truck here. Refuel it. All right. Let's head back over to our factory and we're going to build the next phase. And so what we're going to want out of the next phase is the ability to create bars out of everything we have. So all of this stuff, we want to create these bars out of it automatically. We don't want to have to use the smelters here to create the bars, right? These are super slow and annoying. Let's make some gold, I guess. We have a lot of gold stored up. We'll put this middle smelter making gold for now, but we'll probably get rid of it later once we get the factory set up. Boop, 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 boop. See, like, that's just gonna be making gold forever. Doesn't even have enough space in its queue to take everything that we've stocked up. All right, so let's figure this out. So what do we need? We're gonna need some stuff. We don't need this stuff right now. Right, down, dump decks are good. Let's get some lefts. Let's purchase the things we're gonna need. We're gonna need at least one merger, at least one splitter, at least one more storage. We're gonna need 2 high temp smelters. 2 of them, yes, 2. We're gonna need a regular smelter, right? We need both of those. And we're gonna need a high temp sorter for sure. Gosh, so much stuff. And we need a bar roller, right? We're just gonna deal with the bar roller for right now. Okay. So what we're gonna do, no, we want right. We're gonna go right, down, don't need that, down. Right. Split. One of them is going to go into... we have to get our inventory out. We need this smelter. High temp smelter and storage. Okay. One of them is going to go straight into a smelter. Whoops. Smelter over here. Except for the fact that I'm inside it. There we go. So we're going to split it. So this is going to come down. That's not what I want, actually. That's not what I want. Okay. That's wrong. Because we need to put this in here. Right? It's the high temp sorter. Okay, this is going to be fine. It's the high temp sorter, high and low temp. How does this thing work? Let's look at the store. I don't even know. High temp sorter. We look at this. Any material. It takes aluminum, silicone out the bottom, and everything else out the top. Okay. So if aluminum... Here's our lefts. This is why we wanted the lefts. Come on, snap. And snap. Yes, it's going through the CNC machine, but I don't care. I'll fix that later. Okay, so now, if I think about this properly, I'll move the CNC machine later. This is now... iron and silicone. We want to split the iron and silicone into two. All right. We want to split this into two. Now, the reason we want to split it into two is because the reason we want to split it into two, and this is what I've figured out over time, is with the smelter, right? If we look at the smelter, where's it? So the high temp smelter processes iron, aluminum, and silicone into steel, aluminum, and silicone. So the high temp one takes iron in and produces steel. But we might need iron for other things, so we need to actually send some of the iron through a regular smelter, which is where? Where's the regular smelter? So the regular smelter takes in iron and makes melted iron. We want the regular smelter to get the other side of things. We want both high temp and regular. Right? Now, can I do... Where would it be? It would be like right here, right? I'm trying to think here. Trying to think how I want this layout. Um, you can sell all these later. So let me see if I can figure out what I'm doing here. No, I need to write. Okay. It's gonna be belt hell. We'll figure it out. Right? So these two merge into here. And then this goes into the normal smelter. And then the other one goes into the high temp, or this goes into the high temp smelter. What is it? I'm trying to remember how I did this before. So normal smelter, high temp, and high temp. So this should be, let's just put it down. We can always figure it out later. High temp there. And then we need over here, essentially, this is the high temp, like this one. And then we need that one going that way. That's essentially what we need. Right? Yes. Okay. Let's work backwards from that. Okay. Yeah. There we go. We're almost there. Let's get rid of the CNC machine. Get rid of this one. This needs to all move over by one. And we need a bunch of straight ones. We don't need that. We don't need that. We don't need that right now. What we really need is all of these. Left, left, right. Is that correct? Where did I have the splitter before? It's just so hard to do. I'm mentally trying to figure these things out in my head, and it's not working. Let's work backwards. From here. That needs to go in there. Okay. We can actually move this whole thing over one if we need to. Right? That cannot move over one. Okay. Left. Right. I'm going to build backwards a little bit. Where'd the splitter go? I need a splitter. I don't need a shovel right now. Splitter? Yup. And then the splitter went into a merger. Right there. Yup. And then that went into this. Okay. We're going backwards slightly. Perfect. I don't even know if this is going to work. I'm really hoping this is going to work. Right. Down. Sorter. Straight. And then actually this is a left. Left? I think I got it. Left. And then we need another left. Roughly right here? Yes. Yes. I need a 4 and a 2. Conveyors. 4, 2. All right. If this actually works, I'm going to be super surprised. Because it's actually pretty clean. Now that it's connected. All right. So, high temp sorter. Iron and silicone and something else come out here. Half of the iron and silicone goes back and merges with the low temp stuff, which goes into here, which is going to create iron ore. The other parts are going to go, the other half of these are going to go into here, create this one. And the reason that there's a second smelter on here is because when it splits off, some of the stuff isn't going to get processed by those. I forget where the second... Is this High temp smelter. High temp smelter. Wait. This is the regular smelter. This is a high temp smelter. Okay. Does that make sense? I don't know. I don't know. All right, so then the output side, gosh, that's just the beginning. And then the output, we need a merger of some kind at some point. Logically, the merger can just go right here. Right. We have plenty of space, so we're going to use the space. Okay. No. Right. That's going to go right. We need to go left somewhere here. No, we need to go right. This one's going right. This one is not going right. This one's going left. I can't tell you how many times I've built these backwards without realizing it. Okay. Those are now connected. And this can just go into this can go into this, actually. Bar roller, which is going to go left. And into storage. All right. So I'm glad we had so much space because we used all of it. We need one more. Straight. And that's right here. Boop. Boop, 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 boop. The question is will this break our factory? And the answer is probably going to be yes. I almost guarantee this is going to break our factory because we've added so much stuff and the factory was already overloaded. But I think this is actually going to work. And then we can this will be temporary, but we're going to buy one more merger. And one cool thing about the mergers is you can, at any time, you can take a left or right and just replace it with a merger, which allows you to pull stuff off of other lines elsewhere. Because we have all of these ores we want to bring in here. And so we're gonna we want a left. Conveyors left. And we want conveyors up, up. Left. And then up, up. And then how much space do I have? I should have enough. Let's get rid of something at least. Dirt, pay dirt, gravel, consume. I'm gonna put some stuff in here for now. Just putting that in storage for now because as soon as I destroy this storage, it's all gonna go in my inventory. Okay. Still running. Everything's still green. It's thinking about it. So iron, aluminum, lithium, silver, iron, blah, 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 blah. All these things are gonna come in here, into this storage. And then for us to test the system, what's on here? Gravel? Gravel's not something we want, but gravel's not going to help us. That was a bad idea. Oh well, it'll just pass through to the end. As soon as I turn pass through on this thing, all of these ores, let's see if it works. You ready? Turn pass through. So now all of these ores are going to go up the belt, come down here to the sorter thingy. The sorter is going to put all the iron ore this way. Iron ore is going to come over here. Get stuck. Why are you stuck? Why is this thing not on? You know what? I think because the CNC was there, maybe? Oh, crap. Oh, crap. No! Oh, no. Oh, no. Turn it off. Turn it off. Off. No. Oh, my gosh. That's... Oh, my goodness. Turn pass-through off, for sure. Oh, what a mess. What a freaking mess. Oh my gosh. Because of the belt speed, because I have the belt speed set on 5, I think. This is just all iron ore. It just dumped out like 10,000 liters of iron ore all at once onto the ground. Oh, this is going to take a hot minute to clean up. And I'm going to have to do it by hand because I can't get a machine in here. What? I'm gonna have to destroy so much stuff and rebuild so much stuff to get this out of here. It's not even funny. Why did that belt not work? At least it's only like one part of the factory and not the entire thing. This is like the worst factory building accident I've ever had. Easily. I've had a couple belts kind of go runaway on me before, but never this bad. Get rid of this belt. Get rid of this one. The question is why? Like, why did it go so badly? Well, I think I know why. It's because I had the belt speed so high. Hey, I'm getting levels. Okay, I think what we're gonna do. We're gonna come over here. It's gonna seem weird, but I'm gonna take that off. And I'm going to go in here and I'm going to go power. I'm going to buy a 1x speed. That was a 3x speed power. And I'm going to buy a 1x speed power. And then put the 1x speed in. Because the 1x speed will be slower, and if there's a problem, I can handle it better. That's my plan. And I can always replace like how fast the belts are at any time. Right? That I can do whenever I want. So let's go connect here. To connect here. We're not turning that on yet because there's still stuff on the belts. What a mess. Well, let's get the immediate vicinity fixed up. And then get our belts put back together so we can turn the factory back on. Hopefully get it processing some of these things into ingots while we clean up the rest of it. When I'm in first person view, I really feel like I'm playing Minecraft. It's the whole swinging the pickaxe thing. Though mining in this thing takes definitely more time and effort than Minecraft ever did. First person mining, I guess. Oh my gosh. What a mess. You know, the other thing I could do is just run like one of each ore through and make sure it gets to its destination. That's a smarter way of doing it. Is just do one. Like turn the pass through on for just a split second and then turn it back off and then see what happens with just that, you know, whatever gets loaded in the first couple seconds. I've never played Enshrouded, Bruce. But I mean, this is voxel mining. You know, it's you're doing voxel kind of adjustment every time you hit. This has been done in plenty of games. I really like how it's implemented in this game, but plenty of games. And I really like this part of the game, right? In general, like, I like the fact that you have to like really think about how to build your factory to get everything to process the right way. You know what I mean? Like, I like that. I enjoy that part. So anyways, we're going left here and then straight here. Go straight this way. Base building, survival, lots of combat. Cool. I'm waiting for Light No Fire to come out. That's like the next big, that kind of survival game that I want to play. That's on my list. Is Light No Fire, by the people who made No Man's Sky, which is Hello Games. I really, you know, I loved everything about No Man's Sky, so I think if they can build a real world kind of simulation thing on a single planet instead of a million planets, no spaceships needed, you can fly dragons and stuff, I think it's going to be amazing. Can I put the straight piece in yet? I can. Okay. And I think we have enough here to get this thing back online. While I clean up the rest of the factory, because the rest of the factory also got destroyed by this incident. All of these smelters can actually go. We don't need these smelters anymore. Because we're creating all of the same things the smelters are trying to work on through these huge buildings. Soul Mask? Interesting. Never heard of Soul Mask. I was talking to this person. I was at like a doctor appointment and we were talking about video games, and this person was like, this woman, she's like, oh, I got a pre-built computer, but I feel like I need new games to play because I don't feel like I'm using it to its potential. She's like, I don't think I'm using my computer to its potential. So like the other people I was with, they're like, so what kind of computer do you have? What kind of video card? She's like, oh, I think it's like a 5090 or something. She said the words 5090 and or something in the same sentence. And I was like, what? Or something. I was like, okay. A 5090, I mean, aren't those multiple thousands of dollars? Like that's like a $2,000 or $3,000 video card, right? Or something. All right. Left. Right. Going this way. And then straight going that way to connect to that, to connect to that, connect to that. Okay, everything is connected again. There's some places that need to be cleaned up. Right here, we need to turn pass through off. We're gonna destroy these and rebuild them to make sure there's not too much stuff on the line. All right, it's the only way to get the content off of those. So where were we? Merger. Down. Right. Left. Up. Up. Okay. We're rebuilt. Let's go turn it on again. Hopefully the world doesn't end. At least we're going to be turning on at a low speed. Okay. I got green lights. Green lights there. I got green lights here. Green lights here. The merger does not have green lights. The splitter. Why? No, you turn off. Turn pass-through off. Okay, so if you leave it running, right? We turn pass-through off, we leave it running, all these things are going to get stuck on one belt. Right? It's not still running, it's not still pushing stuff through. So if I destroy the splitter, all of that's going to go into my inventory. Okay. Now it's green lights. I think it's because, you know what it is? I think I've heard about this, but I've never seen it myself. I think it's because... Okay, that's green light. This thing is not a green light. Because I built it in the wrong order. Green light now, green light. Because I built backwards instead of building forwards. And I think there's something to do with the system where it doesn't like when you build backwards. You have to build in the forward direction. And I think it's just with the belts. It's not with the buildings. It's just with the belts. I need 2 lefts. Like this, like that. That's all green. Green is good. Oh no, it's these things too. That sucks. Okay. Because they're not turning green. Smelter. Now it's green. High temp smelter. What? That was weird. Green, green. High temp smelter. Left, green. Straight into green. This is super annoying. I have to rebuild everything just to do it in order. It's lame. Green. Now it's green. Straight, green, right, green, that's green, merger's not green. Now the merger's green. This is really annoying, honestly. Bar roller, where's your light? Bar roller's green. Left, green, into storage. Okay, the lights for everything are green. It should work. So we do this. We turn pass through on. We turn off. Okay, now it's off. We're gonna watch the iron go through. Right? Yes. Emerged. It's split. Right? Goes to the high temp smelter, low temp smelter. And then over here, we got a couple little crates coming out. And then here we should have... It's really going to make me rebuild the freaking storage. Yeah, I got steel and iron. It's really going to make me rebuild the storage. It's so dumb. Let's try that again. So we should get steel and iron out of this thing, right? That's the idea. Turn pass-through on. Turn pass-through off. Splitting. Packages are coming out here. Packages are coming out here. They're all going through this thing, which is changing iron into bars. And then this storage should now have steel and iron. Yay. So it's working. So we can get rid of this, get rid of this, get rid of this. We don't need any of those anymore. All right, let's see if silver works. Okay, we put silver in. Silver is high temp, or not high temp, which means it's going to go in here. And then it's going to come out as... This is high temp. Why is silver not... Where'd it go? I might have these two backwards. Silver didn't get processed. Does aluminum get processed? Aluminum should come straight through. No, aluminum's gonna split. Go to both places. Aluminum's getting processed into bars. We're getting aluminum bars, right? That's good. Aluminum works. What about lithium? Okay. Put some lithium into the chain, see if that works. The cool thing is if it doesn't work, it just passes through. Right? Oh, lithium is not working. Okay. This is all wrong. I did it all wrong. Let me look and figure out why. Smelter does iron, copper, silver, gold, platinum. So this is where I should be taking everything from. Okay, we did it wrong. Okay, let's figure this out. I totally did it wrong. The first thing everything goes into should be smelter, high temp smelter. We don't need that. We don't need that. Okay. So this side gets the smelter. And this side gets the high temp smelter. Right? That's what we want. Oh, I know what to do. Okay, here we go. I'll figure this out. Okay. We're going to leave these alone because these are kind of lined up nicely. Except we're going to move it back. So we need the... Right here. Right, goes here. Right. We don't need that. We need the merger. Merger. We need this to go here. Alright. So, let me see if I can figure this out. I'll figure it out. Straight. Left. Left. One more. Conveyor 6. Conveyor 6. Left. Green, green, green. Need the merger here somewhere. That's not what I want. I've never had so many problems with belts, honestly. This is really annoying. Okay. So the output of the high temp and the low temp goes into a merger, and just to make sure we get everything processed, we're going to run it through the high temp smelter again. Which is going to come out to the left. And straight. Properties. I need a left. I don't know if this makes sense to go backwards on myself, but I'm going to do it for now. Left. Bar roller and storage. Bar roller. Storage. Everything's green. Green, green, green. Okay. And I stayed within the bounds of the places that I've cleared. Everything looks to be green now. Alright. Let's try this again. Turn pass-through on lithium. Lithium's going to come out the front. It's going to go in here. It's going to get processed into ores, which are just going to pass through this machine and get turned into ores. Silver was the one that failed last time. So let's put silver in the front. Turn pass-through on. Turn it off. Silver comes down through here. Goes into here. Comes out of there. Should come in as melted silver right here. Melted silver. Gets made into silver bars. And into storage. Perfect. Aluminum. Let's test aluminum. Aluminum is going to go high temp. Right? So half the aluminum is going to go this way. Half is going to go that way. Boop, boop. This thing is just going to pass the aluminum through because it doesn't know what to do with aluminum. This thing is going to actually melt the aluminum that passed through. That's why there's two of them. Which goes into here, which goes into here, and gives me aluminum. Okay. Iron is going to do the same thing. Right? Silver, iron, gold. And then this. I'll put the grab one here. What do we test? Iron. So we should be getting iron and steel. Iron and steel. Perfect. Is there anything else to test? Oh. Copper. Turn pass-through on. Turn off. Gold. Turn on. Turn off. Silicone. Turn on. Turn off. Okay, that's testing it. I've tested everything. Things are at different stages of the belts. But in the end, all we should be getting here are bars, which was the whole goal of everything we've done today. And there we go. Now, technically this should be right here. It should be after this one. But I felt like putting it here because stuff will just pass through anyways. But technically, it should go the low temp smelter to the high temp smelter, and then the high temp's on its own. But this means we're getting bars and everything through there. So we come in here and we just turn pass through on and just let this thing run. The other thing we can do is come over here. Let's take that out. Put the 3x speed one back in. Run our power cable. Turn the 3x speed one on, which runs faster and with much more energy, uses more power. But now when we come over here, this belt speed should be 90 per second. And it's just going to process through all of those ores, and we should see a steady stream of boxes. Now I totally understand that the steady stream of boxes is like just to avoid the fact that we're putting melted ore on the belt. I would love to see crucibles for the melted ore on the belts, and then see bars on the belts, like see the actual things. And I would imagine they're probably planning on that in the future. This is just like a stopgap, right? This is just temporary. But there we go. And we're just going to get, I mean, look at that. It's already processed 1,000 things of silicone. Look how fast it's coming in. Like, it'll process this whole silo of whatever in minutes. Look, it's just owning through it. Look at how fast it's going down. So this silo won't be needed anymore. And now we're doing bars. Now, the thing is, the reason why there's more production stuff to do. So like you could do, this, take the melted stuff and turn it into blooms. And then you can take the blooms and make beams. So you can only make steel beams. But once it's a bloom, it has to be, you can also do coils. You can take the melted iron, copper, and steel and make coils. And then from the coils, you can also make rods. You can make plates. But right now, there's not much extra gained by all of these things. You don't really gain very much by doing it. So I'm not gonna do that stuff at this time. Oil, what do we need? Oil pump. Oil refinery. Conveyors. Pipeline, liquid tank. That's fine. We also need to do this. So for one of the achievements here, quests right here. No, this one. We need electronic parts, which means we need plastic, which means we need oil. So I'm going to have to build a little production facility for oil, right? Do this little Yoink. Right. I'm going to just put that there to produce some oil. And then we put the oil refinery on it. And we put a liquid tank on it. And then we put power input. Oil is super over OP in this game. Like super ridiculously OP. It's insane. I need a power carrier cable. Where's the power? Buy. We're going to take from there. Is that too far? I knew it was going to be too far. Power. Get another pylon. Pylon right here. From here to here. Need another power cable. I probably have these in storage somewhere, but from here to there. And this, turn on. We're still under the 800 that we're creating. And this will just pump oil, which will refine the oil and go into the liquid tank. And so it says it's good. Why isn't it doing it? I don't see any oil. Why you no work? It's not actually pumping oil. It shows that it's pumping oil, but it's not actually pumping oil. Maybe it's because it's not touching the ground. That might be it. Let's try again. Oil pump. B. Come on. Work with me here. It says it's red. Is it red because it's not working, or is it red because there's no power on? Oh, see, it's not producing oil. Oops. There it is, crude oil. It's now producing oil. Crude oil is going into the refinery to create oil. Just going into here. It's creating it pretty slow, but that's all I care about. It doesn't matter. I need this oil for plastic. I'll leave this here for a couple hours. And it'll make enough oil to make enough plastic to complete all of the quests, and then I'll just destroy it. Because oil sells for ridiculous amounts. If you ever want to play this game and you want to like actually produce enough money to live on forever and get all the coolest equipment, just get an oil pump, and that whole oil pump setup, which is like 36 grand or something like that, and just run it for a little while and you'll have enough. But now, while this plant's running, I can work on digging out the rest, even though I don't need the space, because this is all the stuff I'm going to build. And that's all pay dirt, right? So now actually we should look, because this should be happening here. Oh no, it's not. So the one thing I haven't figured out yet, or I haven't done at this on this. Let's see if we can get up here. The one thing that isn't optimal is this right here is producing gold and silicone, but it's staying in this thing. It's not going anywhere. And what I really need is the other version of this, which is the wash plant, which is, this is the sluice box. What we need is the wash plant. And the wash plant takes pay dirt, turns it into the same stuff. But then you'd have to separate the dirt out and then build these somewhere else. So that's what I should do. But as you can see, I don't really have the space for that. I've done another factory in another place where you you end up needing 2 trommels. But this is good enough for here. I'll just have to manually move the gold over every once in a while. Right? But once we take the bars, honestly, if we take all these bars we're making, we've made ridiculous amounts of bars. So we take the lithium, we take all the gold, take the silicone, the silver. I'll leave the aluminum, iron, and steel just in case we need them for something else. We're making gold non-stop here. See how much money we can make just selling the stuff we've made so far. $1.4 million for that, for the gold. Another 504 for that. Sell that little bit of iron. Sell that little bit of aluminum. 604 grand for the the lithium. Silicone, 59 grand, not much. Silver, 20 grand. I could sell the iron, but I should probably keep it. So let's put this here and here. Like that. And now we have $2.4 million. And what we're going to do now And it's kind of crazy to be able to go from like nothing to like all the coolest stuff. We need to be level 45 to get this loader. We have this loader. We could get this loader, but it's a little slow. But we're going to upgrade it anyways because it'll help us get to 45 faster. So we're going to do that. And we're going to come into this. And go into the inventory. Take out that. And that. And that. And that. We had to replace almost all the stuff in this one. Just take off the tires. Yep. And then we're going to get out. Vehicle. Return to inventory. Go to the store. Sell this. And then we're going to use all that same stuff for this. So let's put it right here. Boop. Let's get a much bigger machine for the loader, even though we don't have much to load right now. Yay. Inventory. Wheel. GPS. Chain tires. Orange. Black. And black. Now this thing is way bigger. And has a bigger bucket. Which means we're going to be able to process stuff much faster. It's a little bit slow on the movement side. Like, see how it's just not moving very fast. But what we want to do is we want to get to level 45. And so we can get the bigger version. So the bigger version is awesome. Yeah. Boop, boop. And then I put these here by accident. Placement issues. All of the ores that I'm picking up here, though, should be going through our plant into creating bars just right away. So this area where it's like, oops. Come on, let's do this properly, Josh. Come on. There we go. Like, these are all ores that'll get turned into bars. We dump that in there. Let's follow this along. Make sure it goes through the system properly. All this stuff is going over there. And then his part right here. See where this right here is coming in here? It's because this right here is sorting. It's the only thing that comes out the front of this is blasted rock and whatnot. This is like a shaker or something like that. And everything else, which is going to be these ores. So if we look here, iron ore. So this is all the iron ore we just scooped, which is going into here, merging with this and going down here. So we don't even need this part of it right here, this loop with this storage thing anymore. We could take that out if we wanted. Yeah, we might as well. There's no reason to have it here. So we just take that and replace it with a right. Everything's still green. Right, everything's still working. And to prove that it's working, let's get some more rocks. Let's get some more ores, hence the name of the game. Oh, wrong button, sorry. Let's dump that. And if we run over, hopefully we're going to be able to see it in time. We run over, we'll see it gets sorted through here in just a second. Turn this on. See? Sorted. Going through here. Going through this, and then this. And then this, and then this. And going into here, and getting turned into bars. Right away, without needing to do any smelting of any kind. Right? That's pretty awesome. The iron is getting split. Iron ore is getting split, so we're doing half iron, half steel. Because that's what we wanted. Paint all the stuff so it all matches the rest of the factory. And even though we did have a pretty substantial, like, problem, which we still have to finish cleaning up from. We still have to clean this stuff up. I can do that off stream. We got everything working. And that's all that matters. I'm stuck now. Luckily, from cleaning this up, I will actually gain some more experience points. Getting us closer, hopefully, to the next level, which will be cool. I'm gonna have to rebuild some of this stuff here, like this gravel storage. I'm gonna have to destroy and get rid of. I'm gonna have to get rid of this froth floater and this water pipe. This I need to get rid of to be able to clean this mess up. And then also this whole dump deck I can get rid of once we're finished in here. And this dump deck doesn't need to be here. And then we have lots of space for... so much space for activities. I don't know what we're going to do over here. I'm hoping, and the reason I'm leaving lots of extra space, I'm hoping that in the next, and one of the future updates, stuff we were talking about earlier, that we get gravel processing. We get gravel and concrete processing. We get some more automation for some of the things we don't have automation for yet. I would really like to see that. Whether that comes or not, I don't know. We're gonna have to go back into our mine and continue to build out that little mine shaft, because we need more gravel for more concrete. I can do that off stream, because we don't have enough concrete to finish building the walls we need here. And then the next time we're going to get into something I've never done before, and we'll have some fun with that, hopefully. Next Saturday, we'll get into dozers. So if we look at the dozers, we have all of the dozers unlocked. So we'll probably just go straight to the D11 right here. I want to play around with the dozers a bit. And then I really want to create a dozers, and then this thing. I want to get into the baggers. I think the baggers would be super fun. Level 55, I'm only level 40, so we have a little ways to go before we can unlock the baggers, but I kind of want to create like a... If I'm going to do anything with this save, I want to take this big open area here and turn it into a mine. Right? And we have a lot of stuff to do that. We're going to have to create a much bigger plant than this to be able to handle all of that material. But it already kind of has a depression right there. And I kind of want to like just create a big mine so that I can use the baggers and then have it all being processed. So we might need to create a second plant over in that general area, I think. Maybe over there we'll create a second plant to be able to process this stuff. But for now, I'm just going to go ahead and finish digging out this area. Finish making the walls. And then next time we will start the big project, which is this big open area here, and we'll start messing around with the dozer. I think actually finding deposits is going to be easier with a dozer because I'm just going to uncover it. But I don't have no idea how to use a dozer, so we'll see. Whatever. Oh, selling items gains experience too. That's a good point. So when we sell stuff, we'll gain some experience also. And then this plant will be pretty much done. I didn't really need all the space that I used, but it has everything that I can think of, except for all of the very detailed bar and pipe and beam and stuff like that. All of those extra things. We could add that if we want. I don't really see a need to. I have to check the prices on those things, like, because the thing is if we go into materials, right? The gold bar is 207. Or let's look at the iron. Iron bar is 64. Iron rods is 128. Sheets is only 123. But I think there's a problem with buying and selling, right? If we do this and do that, see if I can show this. The sheets, for some reason, right? 100 sheets. If I was going to buy 100 sheets, 100 steel sheets, it'd be 12 grand, right? And then, but selling is only, but like 100 bars sells for more than that, I feel. So I feel like there's a price problem with making rods and sheets and stuff like that, where you don't get as much value for doing the work to create the beams and bars and sheets as you should. But I'll mess around with it. Maybe we'll add on to the plan and add in all of the bars and blooms and blah, 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 blah. If we can figure any of that stuff out. But for now, I'm just going to go ahead and start digging with my new loader and finishing this area out. Oops. We're probably going to have to use our dump truck to bring some more coal. We're going to have to dig more coal to be able to power all this at some point. But yeah, that's going to be it. Thanks everyone for coming along. Thanks for coming along, coming by and saying hi. Tomorrow we're going to keep going with atheists. We have a lot of fun kind of uncovering everything that's to be uncovered there. And there's more to do. So come check you guys out tomorrow morning and with some atheists. And until then, hope everyone has a great weekend. Thank you very much for watching. Thanks for coming along. Special thank you to all my AI members. You guys make this channel the best. Thank you for all your support. And as always, thanks for watching. If you want to reach out, feel free to reach out in Discord. I'll catch up with you guys soon. Bye-bye.